everybody, and welcome back to Theje's YouTube. Pretty much what I do here is I review the most interesting notebooks to come through the PC market, and what I have for you today is from HP. This is their dv6-6135DX. I picked him up at Best Buy for around $700 plus tax. And he comes with AMD's new APU, the A8 3500M, which is coupled to its 6620G integrated graphics solution, which is actually pretty half-decent. We're going to find out later on in the video just how half-decent it is. Alright, well without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
HP is a company that is currently a top contender in the PC notebook market. Just recently, HP announced that they will be spinning off their PC division, a move they calculate will bring the most value to their shareholders in the current economy, while at the same time abandoning their infamous touchpad and WebOS devices to the wild of the tech market. While all this is going on, they are staying ahead of the game with the latest technology from AMD in their recent release of notebooks, this being the dv6-6135. It houses AMD's latest A-series processor unit, the A8 3500M. What's cool about this 3500M is that it shares a die with a GPU, the 6620G, making this processor an APU, or Accelerated Processing Utilitarian. Also, for an average price of about $700, this DV6 notebook comes with the aforementioned AMD A8 processor at 1.5 to 2.4 GHz, 6 gigs of DDR3 RAM, a 640GB 5400 RPM hard drive, a Blu-ray drive, and a 15.6-inch 720p screen. We'll see how the rest of the notebook stacks up in the video. But first, let's take a look at what you get in the box. You can tell by the batch label on the front that this particular unit was purchased from Best Buy. And don't worry, that's not the only time you'll see the Beats Audio logo around the DV6. The condom wrapped around the notebook is decent quality plastic, nothing eye-popping, and the pink wrapper of the battery actually resembles that of a condom. The power adapter does have a bit of heft to it, and the weight of the overall package is exactly average. Note that absolutely no discs are included, and unlike the Acer 5742G, the only disc you can make yourself is a simple recovery disc, not a complete OS install disc. Meaning, if you want to switch hard drives in the DV6, you'll have to make a complete system backup to an external hard drive, total size around 80 gigs. Keep that in mind in case you feel like speeding things up with a faster hard disk. The 6-cell battery on this DV6 is said to last over 5 hours according to the reseller, but I couldn't get more than 2 hours in my internet work use. And surprisingly enough, gaming takes the familiar stab out of the battery life, even though the total usage of both the graphics card and CPU is a minimal 35 watts. All in all, it's fairly typical for a casual gaming notebook. Let's see what all those holes in the side do. On the front, we have the card reader, a couple speaker grills, and a strange insignia that probably means you're paying $50 more than you should for this notebook. On the right, we have the Blu-ray drive, 2 USB ports, the lock slot, and the DC in. There's a fancy HP logo on the back, and on the left, we have the main vent, VGA, HDMI, LAN, 2 USB ports for a total of 4, and the mic and dual headphones in. The top features the gunmetal finish, which is mostly smooth to the touch, and a not-so-subtle HP logo. The DV6 isn't shy to show us the upgradable bits, but the heart of the matter is hidden from view. The screwless bottom comes off by flicking the battery hold switch the other way, and getting it back on is a pain in the ass. But here we can see the hard drive, memory, and Wi-Fi card. I've never mentioned this on any other review, but this particular notebook begs to mention that the wireless reception on the DV6 is quite nice. It bests my Clevo notebook hands down. Also, that's not the only thing the DV6 does better than the Clevo. We'll get into that later. As mentioned previously, the main finish on the DV6 is that of a glossy gunmetal look. Fingerprints will accumulate easily, and even the keyboard keys and touchpad can be easily smudged. The screen uses a standard 720p resolution and tilts back almost 180 degrees, which is very surprising and very handy, especially since the viewing angles are rather narrow when it comes to the vertical. Still, it's not difficult to find a comfortable viewing angle. Being a glossy screen, outdoor use is strictly prohibited. The keyboard on the DV6 is perfectly fine. It uses the whole breadth of the chassis and misses no keystrokes. It's also easy to fall in love with the numpad, which is a carbon copy of your typical desktop 10 key with the larger plus and enter buttons on the side and the double-wide 0 key on the bottom. This is all made possible thanks to the innovative arrow keys, which haven't yet given me any grief. The function buttons again have their primary use mapped to the feature toggles, just like on the NV15, which may frustrate some gamers. The touchpad is kind of another story. The trackpad itself will take some getting used to, as the sensitivity isn't like that of other touchpads I've used. Thankfully, there's no unibutton, and the touchpad can be disabled with a nifty double tap to the top left-hand corner. The dv6 comes with 2 speakers in it, and the experience is nothing out of the ordinary, except that while there is no bass representation, all of the sound spectrum is present. I can hear the bass in Rage Against the Machine's Calm Like a Bomb, it just doesn't sound bassy. The Beats audio headphones experience is also a cut above standard, thanks to enhanced bass and a little bit of reverb. Playing Black Ops on the dv6 was a new audio experience. On to gaming. Casual gaming is what the A8 3500M APU was designed for. AMD themselves said, why bother with low-end integrated graphics anymore? Amen, AMD. Amen. The power of the A8 3500M lies somewhere between the Intel Core i3 and i5 processors, just like the Phenom X4 before it. The 3D Mark 06 score reflects that of the Radeon 5650 or 5730 in higher resolutions. Fortunately, the dv6 is limited to 720p, which is optimal for frame rates and textures with a graphics card that has no onboard memory. Yep, that's right. The APU borrows texture memory from the RAM, up to 2 gigs. That's why this notebook has a total of 6. Oh, and something the dv6 can do better than the Clevo P151HM1? Game on battery. That's right, your gaming performance will be unhindered off the plug. Unfortunately, your battery life will still suffer the same typical consequences, which strikes me as odd, but it's true. Where the minimal power suckage really shines is in the heat dissipation. There's simply less heat to dissipate, so the dv6 will stay within comfortably warm temperatures for your lap. The fan also stays pretty quiet. Expect to game well enough on medium detail settings at standard resolution, with no eye candy enabled. For a competitive gaming experience, expect to have to lower detail settings from there. In conclusion, students get a wary thumbs up. The standard weight is more than I'd recommend, and the battery life isn't stupendous, but it's cheap power on the cheap, with a full 10-key numpad and an excellent wireless range. You can compute and game almost as well as a MacBook Pro for about $1,000 less, and it has more memory and a Blu-ray drive up on the Acer competition at around the same price. Casual gamers can pick up the HP for the fun of it. For the more purist PC gaming crowd, you might want to shell out the extra bucks for something with a Radeon 6770M or NVIDIA 540M GT. Just saying. For competitive gamers, this notebook is right up. Ignore the living shit out of it. Desktop replacement seekers will want more power than the A8 3500M and 720p screen can deliver. Don't let the extra 2 gigs of RAM, 10-key numpad, and Blu-ray drive fool you. Move on and forget about it. Business users won't like the dv6 for the same reason, plus the weight and poor battery life.
Okay everybody, thank you for watching my feature presentation of the HP dv6-6135DX. Remember guys, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Post this video on your Facebook because I'm so pretty. And then also, during the video game footage, which you will be watching here very shortly, I have my new single out. It's called Do You Know? It's by yours truly, Theje. It's available on iTunes, Napster, and AmazonMP3.com, so wherever you guys download music, it's there. So, when you're done listening to it, go ahead and download it. Because I'm awesome. Alright, once again, thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a good night.
Do you know what you mean when you say that you want me? That you want me, do you know? Do you know when you think that you need me? That you need me, do you think? Can I say that I never wanna say that I say that I never think of you? Can I think that I never She won't let me be. She don't need to live. I don't care. I don't care. She stays. She don't need what I don't need her here. She went home just to change out of her clothes, just to change, but her clothes are still around. Oh! She went home, but she'll be back around, back around. She sleeps here only she won't leave.